Hello and welcome to NEWUP Weather News for our Sunday update on Sunday, January 7th, 2024. We'll start with the snow that we had over the last 2 days. I've got the CocoRoz map pulled up here on the screen so you can see that bullseye of snow lined up pretty much where we thought it would over Vilas, Oneida, Forest, Florence, Iron, and Dickinson counties where we saw 3 to 4 inches. There was a little bit more snow to the north of Highway 41 and M28 than I thought there would be. Totals were between 2 and 4 inches up there, but you can see that sharp cutoff south of Highway, we'll say 64, where snow totals were much less, especially in central Wisconsin. The closer you got to Lake Michigan, the totals went back up again. But as you can see, it looks like we had 3.2 inches around Lando Lakes and Boulder Junction. Same thing around Rhinelander. We had about 4.5 inches here in Florence, just over 4 inches in Iron Mountain, 4.8 inches up in Michigami. Looks like 3.9 inches, maybe just to the south of Houghton there. So it was a decent enough snow for the fact that we haven't had any snow this season, or not much to speak of anyway. But if you are looking for snow, if you are an enthusiast for snow, things are about to change. I want to bring your attention first to winter storm watch that has been issued for, in our counties, it's just southern Oconto and southern Marinette County. You can see that right here. But you can see where that pretty much is encompassing most of the southern half to 2/3 of the state of Wisconsin. And behind that, you can see where winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings have been issued for parts of Iowa, Minnesota, and out into the Dakotas, Nebraska. And I think you're going to be seeing some winter weather advisories pop in here too, not necessarily just in this blue area, but throughout most of our area. And we'll talk about that here in just a second. First, I'd like to show you this. This is called the Experimental Winter Storm Outlook. And so what this is this is a product that's put out by the Weather Prediction Center, and it's an experimental product that shows the probability of exceeding winter storm warnings criteria. So you can see that at the bottom here is the scale. So white is or not colored in would be less than 10%. Blue would be 10 to 30% of exceeding that criteria. Yellow would be 30 to 50% of exceeding that criteria. Red would be 50 to 80%, and then purple would be 80% or higher. So you can see that right now, where the National Weather Service thinks this bullseye of the storm is going to be is kind of right over southern Wisconsin going up towards the lakeshore. But there is a 30 to 50% chance of exceeding that winter storm warning criteria through most of Marinette, Oconto County, and going up into Menominee, Delta, and even eastern Dickinson County. And then a little bit less than that to the west of it, but you can see that they're thinking about this storm. We're going to start with the models here and show you this storm coming in. I've got it on the national view just so you can see the storm as it approaches our area. So this would be going into 6 a.m. Monday. You can see that the low pressure system is then located over the panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma, and 995, that's a deep low pressure, and you can see the isobars getting close together. This storm is going to pack a punch. So as you see, as the day goes on, this would be noon on Monday, 6 p.m. on Monday, and getting to midnight Monday going into Tuesday. The low, the placement of it is not exact. You could think of it more where there's this gap here. But you can see that now it's able to draw in that Gulf moisture, and the cold air behind it is able to adjust, convert that moisture into snow. So as we get to 6 a.m. on Tuesday morning, you can see the snow is approaching southern Wisconsin. And as we get to noon on Tuesday, that's when it looks like the snow is going to be hitting us the hardest. So you can see, almost like I said, the southern 2/3 of Wisconsin, and really including us too. And I'll zoom in on this in a minute. But you can see how this storm pushes out of here. This would be 6 a.m. Wednesday. And what you see here is some residual lake effect snow showers. I want to look at the European model next, and it'll be the same thing. This is going into, this would be noon on Monday, and you can see 6 p.m. midnight, and there's that storm pushing in. And you can see that the heaviest snow is going to be setting up probably across southern Wisconsin, but that we are going to be seeing some snow up here, and that the storm moves out again by 6 a.m. Wednesday, save for some residual lake effect snow caused by the wind on the backside of the storm. That's the other thing that's going to be impactful with this particular storm that's coming through Tuesday into Wednesday, is there's going to be a lot of wind. So any snow we do get is going to blow around quite a bit. Now I want to show you, this is the NAM model, and it is being very aggressive with where it's placing this snowstorm. So if you like snow, you're going to want to be cheering for this NAM model. If you don't like snow, you are going to want to be cheering for either the European or the GFS models. So this would be 7 a.m. on Monday, getting to around noon, and you can see here 6 p.m. that storm system is brewing up. But what I want you to pay attention to is how the NAM brings that low pressure system, the center of low pressure, excuse me, over northern Illinois and then across southern Wisconsin, which would mean that that puts all of us in the heaviest band of snow, not southern Wisconsin. So this model is showing that we are going to be the ones who get that heavier snow. And this is why there's still a little bit of uncertainty about this storm, because the models don't necessarily agree. So with the NAM bringing it over northern Illinois and across Lake Michigan, meanwhile, if we go back to the European, you can see that it kind of goes across southern Illinois and then over lower Michigan. And the GFS, same thing, kind of across southern Illinois and over lower Michigan. It's really going to depend on the track. So this is the GFS, and I'm going to just have this one, or I've got the European too, but I'm just going to have these two with the local view. So I want you to see as this snow comes in that the GFS keeps the heavier snow to our south, but you can see we do get into it until we get to 6 a.m. on Wednesday. Going to the European model, let me go back to the start of it. There we go. You can see that this also brings that heavier snow into southern Wisconsin, and that we only see lighter snow here in northern Wisconsin and the upper peninsula of Michigan, with the exception of some lake effect snow, which could increase those totals. So for right now, at 6 p.m. on Sunday, this forecast that the National Weather Service has put out, I think, is appropriate. So you can see where those winter storm watch counties, southern Marinette, southern Oconto County, and everything south of there, showing 4 to 8 inches of snow for Menominee and Marinette. Now, I'd be willing to bet that the National Weather Service in Marquette will probably push out a winter storm watch for particularly Menominee, Delta County. They might push those out. That, or they might just go right into the winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories. But you can see that there's going to be a line pretty much from Michigan down towards Iron Mountain, heading towards Antigo. This is going to be sort of your cutoff. So us folks that are in the western UP and across the Vilas Oneida County area, you may be spared on this one. And by spared, I mean you might not see a ton of snow. You're going to see snow, but it might not be a lot. But the closer you are to Lake Michigan, the heavier your snow totals are going to be. Now, if that NAM model comes through, let me go back to that model, and I'm going to zoom into our regional view, and I'm going to put the snow totals on for the NAM. So when you were seeing this here, this would be a combination of kind of the GFS, the European, the Canadian model. They call it the National Weather Service blend of models, or ensemble models. So this is kind of the average of that's why you see those 3 to 7, 4 to 7, 3 to 6. That's about what you're going to see. But now if I go back to the NAM, I had it. I did not have it. There we go. You can see that the NAM is much more aggressive with that heavier snow band being right over Langlade, Oconto, Marinette, Southern Forest, Florence, and it looks like a sharp cutoff here. I would extend this out into Iron, Dickinson, and then along Delta, Menominee County too. You can see those heavier lake effect snow bands that would happen. So I'm thinking that if you're looking for snow, you're going to be getting it here Tuesday going into Wednesday. This right here, what you see on the screen, is what I'm thinking is going to be the storm totals as of right now. And if things wildly change, I will be sure to update you tomorrow. Going through the rest of the week, you can see that there's going to be a weak clipper system coming through on Thursday and then again on Friday, and that there's the possibility for another strong storm system to be pushing through on Friday. Right now, the GFS and the European models are trending this further south. So it may not impact us, but it's something that bears watching. And then going into Saturday and Sunday, again, light snow, particularly for lake effect snow folks. But there's really, if you can believe it, a chance for snow every day this week. looking at the European model going through the rest of the week. So this is 6 a.m. Wednesday. That storm is through. You can see, again, a little bit of a push of snow from a clipper system. The European model has this storm system coming a little bit further north, kind of like what the storm system on Tuesday is going to do. So we may see snow on Friday. We may miss it completely, and then lake effect snow on the back end. But what I want you to take away from this is that we have a system coming in on Tuesday, and then we could see a repeat of it on Friday. But we kind of need to get through Tuesday first so that the computer models can kind of get that data out of its system before it starts looking at um, this next storm. And what else you're going to see this week is temperatures are going to drop. So as you go through the week, you can see that Monday is probably going to be our warmest day of the week, especially for those of us in our southern counties. 20s and 30s are going to abound for most of the week. But then you can see the cold air starts to push in. This would be Friday at midnight going into, or Thursday midnight going into Friday. And then you can see the cold air cycle in, really cold air towards the end of the week. This is noon on Sunday with the European model suggesting that we could be seeing temperatures, high temperatures in the single digits. This is the GFS model, and you're going to notice the same thing. So you'll see your warm-ups throughout the day, Monday and Tuesday being your warmest days. But after that storm system comes through, it's going to draw in much colder air. So this is Thursday going into Friday. You can see even central Wisconsin getting into some single-digit temperatures there. But then as the weekend comes in, it's going to cool off a lot. So we could be looking at, again, high temperatures in the single digits. This is getting quite a ways out, so it may not come to pass like this, but what you should expect is cold. It's going to cool off quite a bit, probably some of the coldest weather we've seen all season. So let's go ahead and take a look at this week's forecast. And you can see those temperatures as they go throughout the week that it's going to gradually cool down. Especially at night, you're going to see those temperatures dip to near zero. And as I stated before, there's a chance that we could see snow almost every day this week. You're not going to be seeing the sun a bunch this week. It's going to be pretty gloomy, cloudy. But if you're looking for that snow, if you've been waiting to get out on the skis or been waiting to get out on the snowmobile, this is the week for you. Because there is a possibility that by the end of this week, we could see anywhere between 3 to 4 inches of snow, all the way up to 8 to 10 inches of brand new snow by the time we get to the end of this week. To finish off here, I'll take you to the climate forecast system, and we'll go look at some of the things that could be in our future. So here's that Tuesday storm coming through, that clipper system on Thursday. Friday, this model keeps the storm to our south. Again, we'll have to wait and see. Once we get through this Tuesday storm, the models should come together a little bit better about what's going to happen on Friday. But then you can see all of this cold air pushing in. You can see how it's digging this trough here right there, allowing that cold air to filter into the United States, some of the coldest air we've seen all year. What that will do for us is it will keep the snow at bay, unless you're wanting some, but it will keep the snow on the ground too. So this would be Tuesday, week after next. You can see a couple of weak systems push through, but nothing looks real substantial going into the week after next. There is a chance for a warm-up towards the end of January. You can see that warm air starting to ridge back up into western United States, but we'll just have to wait and see. So get your shovels ready, get your snow blowers ready, because there is going to be some snow coming in this week. I will keep you posted if things change. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already so you can catch all of the updates for this storm. Also follow us on Facebook at NEWUP Weather News, that you can get all of our text alerts as well. So as we wrap up, just again, a reminder that a winter storm watch has been issued for southern Marinette and southern Oconto County for our counties that we watch. Otherwise, if you're traveling towards southern Wisconsin on the middle of this week, you're going to want to be keeping an eye on the weather to make sure that you know exactly what's going to be happening. With that, I'm going to bid you farewell. Thanks again so much for tuning in. And if some things change between now and Tuesday morning, I will be sure to issue an update tomorrow for this possible winter storm. Take care, have a good night, and we will see you later.